Great.
It's awesome.
Welcome, Michael.
Hey, Rhiannon, nice to see you again.
Perfect. So the live stream
Hello,
starts
Michael.
whenever you would like.
Yeah, did you want me to go from the top?
Yes, please.
All right, first time with the script. Here we go. I will call this meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. Eastern. I will now read the land acknowledgement, so bear with me here. The city of Thorold is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattawan-Duronk, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from all across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The city of Thorold stands with all the Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. Third of all, declaration of interest. Are there any declarations of interest today? Nope. Okay. Adoption of the agenda. Can I get a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda for today? Rhiannon mover, Mary Claire seconder. Thank you. Adoption of the minutes. So far, so good. Okay. Can I get a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes, please? Mary Claire with the adopt and the seconder. Oh, Mohammed, thank you so much. Okay. So the
Sorry,
first.
we just need to call the question on the votes.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. All those in favor, I guess. Is that what you want me to say? Okay. So that was for the agenda. Then all those in favor of adoption of the minutes. Or I'll get this right next time, no worries. Okay, so I think we're good here. So we didn't have a selection of the subcommittee vice chair because we didn't really have too many people. So does anyone have any nominations for the subcommittee vice chair? I mean, I nominate Rhiannon if she wants to.
Well, that's really nice, but I'm assuming Mary Claire doesn't. Is that what I'm gathering? Because, you know, she did an excellent job in the past as well. And she's very thorough and probably would step up if she needed to. If you were not available, Michael, I don't know. Can I just nominate her again? But I'm assuming because it didn't happen, she might not be interested.
I mean, sorry, Mary Claire, you're muted if you're trying to talk.
Well, so Rhiannon, are you interested in the position, I guess, first of all?
Not really. I can't commit, right? And I'm afraid to make that commitment.
All right. Okay.
So then I turn around and just do another nomination. And I would nominate Mary Claire. Does that make it right?
I think so.
All right. Mohammed, are you interested? I don't know your background, Mohammed.
I'm originally from India.
Well, just with regard to active transportation.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Well, we'll get this one day or the other. Mohammed, you can hear us okay?
Probably in the Thorold Tunnel.
Well, okay, he's back on mute now.
So I think we lost Mohammed.
I think we might have lost Mohammed. Okay. All righty.
Do you want to push this another meeting or?
Well, could we just, because my whole thing of not coming the chair, and thank you very much, Michael, for nominating me last time, is that I believe that everybody brings different qualities to a position, and I was privileged to do it for 4 years, but I think it's good that someone else has that opportunity and brings a fresh perspective to things. So I don't know Mohammed and I don't know his background, but he may have some great ideas and maybe an enormous support to this committee. So maybe let's push it to the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that okay, Sydney? Okay. All right, so I guess we'll skip 6.2. Skip that. Okay, so do we get to go right to committee business now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Regent Street parking. I'm not sure who put that on the agenda, but I'm guessing that was Mr. Dunsmore. Mr. Dunsmore, floor is yours.
Oh, sorry. What I'd like to tell you is that we received a complaint about some parking issues on Regent Street, right in front of the by the park there, specifically as it relates to baseball games and whatnot in the park area. What I want to say is I want to make sure that everybody has early notification of the fact that we are going through a process and we're going to end up having some public meetings and whatnot about that parking. What we're hoping to do is add some perpendicular parking along Regent Street in front of the park. There'll be about 12 or so spots pointing into the park and trying to avoid most of the trees and stuff like that. We have some rough sketches figured out, but I just looked on our website. They were supposed to get up on our website, but they haven't yet. What I will do is I'll let you know that when that happens. And we just want to make sure that if there's any issues related to the active transportation in that area, we would like your feedback and like your comment, just like we do with every other public information center.
So when you're saying you're going to add parking, are you looking like on Carlton Street beside the park, or are you looking on Regent Street, which is a bit smaller of a street?
Right on Regent Street, where we're
Right on
the design that we have, the sketch that we have, pushes the curb back on the north side of Regent Street by about 6 meters. And then there'll be perpendicular parking, meaning that it'll be like a driveway almost. There'll be a series of them along the frontage. And then there'll be a sidewalk that goes around behind the back of the curb across the frontage of that property. I just described the drawing to you. I promise you the drawing will come very shortly. I just want to make sure that we're collecting as much input as we can and making sure that everybody understands that this project is moving forward. Okay. Rihanna?
Rihanna,
Good
go ahead.
question. Yeah, Sean, so on Regent Street right now, currently, is it two-sided parking? Like, are you allowed to park on both sides?
No, it's only on the park side.
It is only on the park side, okay.
Yeah, and the problem the reason it's a problem is there's when a baseball game is going on, there's a lot of people who park across the that frontage.
Right.
Some of the residents on the south side of the road have a difficult time getting in and out of their driveway because, like you said, Region is a little on the narrow side, and so having that parking there makes it a little challenging for people to get in and out.
Yeah, it looks like you have a lot of frontage to work with there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of frontage, but there's some really mature trees that we're trying to avoid at the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Sean. Anyone with some follow-up questions for Mr. Dunsmore?
Okay.
I mean, in my opinion, as long as you're trying to stay away from the trees and we can add some extra parking and on that street, I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
It's a nice little place to walk, so you're gonna still have the sidewalk there. So yeah, yeah, I'm okay with that. With that comes Mary Claire.
Like I
Right,
said,
sir.
what all we're really looking for is some input when we get drawings and information out to you, okay? I just wanted to let you know that it was coming.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Mary Claire, do you have anything to ask Mr. Dunsmore about the Regent Street parking?
The only thing I wanted to ask was the sidewalk along there. Is that that's on the south side of Regent Street, correct?
There's currently a sidewalk on the south side of Regent Street.
Yes.
But as part of this proposal, we're going to add one on the north side as well. There should be,
Oh,
according to our policies, there should be a sidewalk on that side of on the park side as well.
okay. All
To
right.
be honest with you, it goes a partial way down and for whatever reason doesn't actually finish across the park.
Oh, okay. Does it go all the way down to the end where there's a small parkette by the canal path?
Yeah, right now it starts at the east end of the park,
Okay.
carries all the way down to the end of Regent Street.
Oh, okay.
It actually, it comes close to tying into the Welland Canal Trail, but I think there's a fence in the way, actually.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That's all I had for that item.
Okay. Thanks, Ms. Dunmore. Okay, moving on to the second item, Broderick Avenue update. I am all ears and eyes.
Mary Claire mentioned it earlier that she received a notification today.
Oh, earlier, but I do have it. Yes.
Yeah, notification about a PIC for tomorrow at City Hall this time because she got lost last time.
Why would I think it was at Westmount School? I just assume. One should never assume, they say. Yes.
So it's at City Hall this time. It's a complete reboot of what we were talking about. It's essentially going back to the first PIC that we had and asking for input on all the elements, parking, road widths, the boulevard in the middle, all that good stuff. I suspect I know what the answers are going to be, but we are going to make sure that we get those answers very clearly laid out. One thing I would like to say about some of the input we received on that PIC that we had was we got a lot of input about allowing putting the parking back on both sides of the road. Didn't get all that much input about that center median. So if there's a bunch of people who are interested in that, I would like to hear their input. So I just want to make sure that what we're trying to do is make sure that we build what people want.
Which is fantastic because some of the residents just over the process are confused, not really scared, but they're just not thinking that the process is going the proper way. I mean, every day it seems like we're adding to our email list of Broderick residents, and the majority of the residents just want the on-street parking on both sides, keep the boulevard, make the boulevard beautiful again. I'm afraid to make that a hashtag, but yes, that's what everyone's looking for.
Yep.
So, I mean,
and if that's what it comes out to, that's exactly where we'll go.
okay. I mean, I did issue the agenda to everybody from 3 years ago, so everyone was able to take a look at it and see it. Not one of the 4 options are exactly what we're looking for. So if we do get there, maybe you can just let the people know, hey, please put down in the comment sheets, boulevard, street parking, and we'll cater to that. As long as people understand that, I think they'll be a lot more better than they were the last time, I believe.
It was a little hostile last time.
Just a titch, yeah.
And part of the reason we moved it from Westmount School, by the way, to City Hall, just for everybody's knowledge, is when we got to Westmount School, I think you saw me. I was going back and forth and opening the door all the time because they wouldn't unlock the door. So
Yeah.
That apparently is a new policy for the DSBN. They will not unlock the doors after 6, I think it is. So I had to keep walking back and forth. So we want to stop that. So we're gonna have a City Hall so that we can keep the door unlocked ourselves.
Makes sense. Anybody
Okay.
have any questions for Mr. Dunsmore? Okay. So I'll
Right.
leave it at that. I think everyone knows my feelings and the residents' feelings, and we'll have a nice productive conversation tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Okay, thanks. Thank you, Mr. Dunsmore. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Round table discussion. I have a couple items, but please, I'll let everybody take the floor. If you have something you'd like to talk about, please go ahead. Rhiannon, go ahead.
I just have a question on years ago in, like, let's say Confederation, and I can only speak to Chrysler and Ward Circle and stuff there, Sean. They had, like, they were gonna do parking on one side of the street, but that seemed to have fallen by the wayside because the notice came 10 years ago and nothing has been done about it since. I mean, they're wide enough streets. I'm not pro or con, it's not, but somebody had asked me about that, and I just thought, only because it's a round table, I thought I would ask if there was ever mention on the parking in Thorold, particularly probably Confederation area, if regarding both sides of the street. I know it's a hot topic, and it must have got dropped for a reason.
Well, it went to council is actually what happened.
But this is about 10 years ago, no? Because
Yeah.
we did get
Well,
notices. I live on Chrysler, so.
Yeah, maybe not quite 10 years ago, but yeah, we were good. We ran a pilot program is actually what we did. And so we picked some streets in the West community that we tested out parking on one side or both sides, and the feedback we received was overwhelmingly leave it alone, stop.
Oh, okay.
At one point in time, we received a request for somebody to restrict parking on, and I want to say Chrysler, but I'm not entirely sure. And we had a similar PIC to the one we had for Broderick, and that was we had all sorts of people come out, and none of them said very nice things about me.
Well, that wasn't me.
So,
Nor would it ever be me.
so it's one of those things. It's a hot topic. We went through we deferred it eventually to our transportation master plan. The master plan essentially said leave it the way it is.
Yeah, I could see probably where you get you're never going to please everybody.
Well, and I will tell you, parking is one of those things that if you tried to restrict it to one side of the road or the other, what happens is the opposite side of the road complains, or right, it's almost a 50-50 split, no matter what you do. If you're trying to restrict it to one side, if you add it on both sides, like we're planning, like I think we're going to do on Broderick, then you get kind of this 50-50 about, well, we don't want on-street parking, or we do want on-street parking, right? So it's just this weird dynamic of what people want, and in a way the city doesn't mind one way or the other, right? Like,
right.
The funny part about it, I talked to Michael about this at the Broderick, and I talked to Mary Claire as well, is that on that Broderick Street design, yes, we took the parking off the street, but we added almost 6 meters to the driveways because we took the parking off the street. And so we added actually more parking spots than we took away. And it's a funny conversation about, well, where do they want it, right? And do you have to shovel the road and all that stuff. So there's many things into it, and to be completely frank about it, it is, in a way, we'll do whatever people want.
Yeah, I could see it being a logistical nightmare. It's not worth the hassle until.
Yeah, it's like choosing the color of paint. Yeah, who cares, really? So
okay, good to know.
Yeah, so at this point in time, it's status quo in
That's fine.
And we only respond to complaints, and even when we're doing reconstruction, we try to put back what was there unless we hear something otherwise. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Rhiannon.
So Through you, Mr. Chair, I just have a question with regard to what has happened with Tim Whalen. Information on the bike decoration for Canada Day.
Right, so it looks like he wasn't able to make this meeting, but I
Okay.
believe, Sydney, correct me if I'm wrong, but that if we had information we wanted to pass along, or that we can make it on the meetings and we can send the information to him.
Okay, so I guess the only question I have, as in the information we received last year, as they opened up Beaver Dams Park, was that the Thorold Credit Union wished to continue doing the bike decoration as they had for many years prior. So, yeah.
I guess we're just asking, are they still interested in doing the bike decoration again this year? Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Simple enough. And Mary Claire, I'll probably email you later on this week and just ask you about the next steps with the schools and everything of that nature.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right. Because I want to make sure that I do what I need to do before it gets too late.
When are you thinking that you're going to do this? Are you going to do it and offer the opportunity this June?
I believe that, I think that's what everybody would like, right? We want to keep
Okay.
it going. Like,
All right.
I think would be like an annual thing.
Yes, that was the hope. Yeah. I guess since we're all together, certainly Heart Niagara, would they continue to be a partner and provide the bike education and safety program?
We have a specific contact over there that we've spoken to before.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. There's a woman at Heart Niagara who has run it for the last number of years. And she's the one who, well, it was scooters mostly last year because they gave away a lot of the bikes during COVID. But my understanding was they were getting some bikes back. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have that contact information,
Well, why don't we make it part of the official records, and then that way,
Yeah, okay.
Everyone can be supportive. And give me a second while I get everyone's name for you here. Okay, so at Heart Niagara, let's see here. The person you need to get a hold of is Karen Stern, Stearne. And her work number is 905-358-5552, extension 107. And the cost last year was $10 per student. And so don't know if that cost remains. And then they provide the packages that go to each one of the principals. Then, of course, you need to get a hold of both school boards with regard to, promoting it and letting them know. Now, for one school board, the Catholic School Board, it's Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. My goodness. And they were on board. I mean, there was no doubt. But Leanne Forsyth Sells is the superintendent there. And then for, honestly, I don't have it written down now anymore. Isn't that sad? But I dealt with the superintendent for this area from the District School Board of Niagara and her executive assistant, who was very supportive, and emails were sent out to all the principals that this package was forthcoming with all the information. And they provide wonderfully, as does Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. How many? Now, is it still going to be grade 6s that we're focused at? That was the focus originally when this was started, but I mean,
Yes. Do we want to go younger? Or?
Well, it's only a 5-6 program. So we focus at 6 because at that point they're becoming a little bit more independent. And we thought that the committee thought that, that's a good way to remind them of the safety rules, make sure their bikes are safe before they begin to be a little bit more dependent. They're out on the roads without, their parents when they're out with friends and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say that is the couple of things that would be done is those contacts with both school boards and the contact with Karen Stern to begin to get the process underway. And as I said, Karen Stern provides the packages, and we drop them off at the schools, and then it's up to the principals whether they choose to get their school involved in Heart and Ag or schedule the dates based on when they had availability and volunteers, because they require the volunteers in order to offer the program.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll be the first person I'll contact, and then, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll get on that probably before the end of the week, just to at least get the feeler out there, because I don't want to have too much time to waste here. I know time is of the essence.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we got that. Any other comments on that one?
Not for me. No, I think.
Okay. Do we have like any lessons learned from last year?
Well, to be quite honest, I think probably the lesson we learned was, sorry, I do have before I answer that question, Jennifer Reed is Kelly Pisek, executive assistant, and Kelly was the superintendent for this area of schools during the last term. And so she was the one we dealt with the district school board in Niagara, and Jennifer Reed was her executive assistant. So that's who it was that we were dealing with. Yes. Okay. Lessons learned, I think, Rhiannon, probably not every child wishes to participate in the program. And not every parent wishes to sign the permission form to have the child participate in the program. So it's really important that we work with the principals of the school as they see the climate of their own school and the needs of their own school with regard to supervision of children not participating in the program. Because it does take a morning or an afternoon to do it. And therefore you need not only supervision of the ones that are participating, but supervisions of the ones who have decided not to participate for whatever. Yeah. But
I will say, Mary Claire, we went to, back then it was Monsignor. It was a huge success.
It was the very first year we offered it was a huge success. Coming out of COVID last year, yeah, it was not so many. I would think we probably had less than 50%. I do have the numbers here. But truly, I'd be honest with you, if we get every child participating in grade 6, we don't have enough money to pay for the whole thing.
No.
So that's the reality of the situation. Because there's so many kids and there's only so much money in our particular fund to pay for this.
Right.
So we've always had enough money to pay for it. But you're right, Monsignor Clancy, we've offered in the morning and the afternoon that very first year, and there was very few children that didn't participate in it. And some because they had appointments and they were leaving the building, right, sort of thing, so they weren't there. But Heart and Ag came with bikes. They came with a tool shop. If the children had their own bikes, which many did, they checked to make sure the bikes were safe, and there was helmets, and it was really, you're absolutely correct. It was an excellent success the very first year. And then unfortunately we had a bit of curtail for a couple of years, but yeah.
I mean, after COVID, everyone's hopefully things are more back to the normal this year. So maybe we can get a bit of a jump in the participation.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got the Heart Niagara, we got the 2 school boards. So I'll take it upon myself, and I'll keep you guys on the emails as well, so everyone's apprised of what we're doing. I want to keep this open and honest as much as I can. All right. So we got that. Mohammed or anybody else at round table, do you have any other items before I get a couple that I have here? Going once, going twice, 3 times, sold. Okay. So for my round table, I just have a couple items. One of them is specifically well, I guess both of them are for Mr. Dunsmore. I'm just going to share my screen if that's okay with everybody. Let's see if I can get this to work here. Okay, entire screen, and we're looking at this one. All right, can you guys see my screen okay?
Mhm.
All right, so this is Town Line Road. And over here is, we have Green Hill Drive. So if I back myself up a little bit. So this area right here, I believe is city property, Mr. Dunsmore. This going all the way back, and then there's a little forest or something. So there used to be a sign here that says, to tell people to keep out and whatever, but I guess over the years it's gone. And I took some pictures, and I'll grab that here. So it looks, after that, we get a lot of windstorms now. So there is like 15 trees down over there, and they're like down. So you can see I got some trees here, a little bit of garbage, but some poor fella. It looks like he's got a tree on his shed here. Looks like it fell down and hit his shed. It looks like he's got a garage there, so I don't think he's noticed or complained about it. But I did talk to one of my constituents and let him know that I would at least bring this up to the city's attention and see, because we talked about the pathways, Mary Claire, right? Like who's responsible for that? I guess.
Pedestrian walkways, yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is not obviously a walkway, but it is obviously dangerous, and there's a lot of trees down, and it looks like it did damage someone's property. So I guess my question would be to Mr. Dunsmore. Are you aware of the current situation, and who would be responsible for cleanup, or at least putting up a sign to let people know they can't go there?
Putting up a sign on a municipal right of way is certainly our responsibility. No question about that. I'm surprised that there isn't one there.
Yeah, it used to be. I don't know what happened to it.
I don't know what the sign is, other than maybe no entry.
Mm-hmm.
As for cleaning up the trees, if it's on private property, like you said, that guy's garage, it would be his responsibility to clean it up. The ones that fall on public property, because I believe that is actually a protected area. I think that feed back into a larger wooded area in the back. I believe that whole area is actually environmentally protected. The fact that they fall over is part of nature, and we wouldn't clean them up.
Okay.
The only reason we would clean them up is if they're interfering with a road or a pathway. And that's not a pathway, it's actually an unopened road allowance.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. I just wanted to see what the who is responsible, whatnot. If it's nature being nature, that's okay with me.
Yeah, that's the normal policy in the city, and any woodlot is if a tree falls, that's part of the natural processes, and helps promote chorus frogs and whatnot.
Okay, no problem. So do you think we could get like maybe a sign just to tell people to keep out again, or?
Yeah, we can certainly do that. I'll get our operations staff over there as quickly as I can.
Okay, thank you. And then one small item when I was grabbing my lunch today. Where are we? So there was, I don't know, not really confusion or anything, but went to get some lunch today, and then I guess what happened was yesterday is wheelchair was trying to get into one of the stores, and obviously there's no accessibility ramps for wheelchair people to be able to get into the stores. Now I was having some conversation, and someone mentioned 2025 about all these stores have to be handicap compliant. Is that the proper language?
Yeah, AODA compliant. Yeah.
Right. So I guess my question would be to the city. I mean, obviously it is what it is now, but by 2025, like who's responsible to make it AOD compliant?
The landowner.
Okay.
We have we had a funding program at one point in time where we were helping to pay for that, and a few of the businesses took us up on that. I believe The provincial government also has a funding program to help with that accessibility. When we restored Front Street, which we did just recently, we put back everything that was there, as close to what was there as possible in terms of grade anyway. And you can see, if you go down a little bit further to the what used to be the cafe there, I don't know
Oh,
what
yeah.
it is right now, you can see that there's a handicap access there. That handicap access was paid for by the previous owner of that, and you can see how you can see the different colors in the concrete, which shows you how we worked around it and tried to make it as the same, if you will, as it was before. So yeah, we would the difficulty with Front Street is that the property line for most of these properties is right at their front door. So yeah, right about where your finger is right now. And so for them to actually do that and add the little ramps and whatnot along the way, it actually involves an encroachment into the city right of way, which means we have to enter into an agreement with them and all that good stuff. But we're absolutely willing to do that. They just have to take the first step in trying to lay out or trying to make that happen. Okay.
Okay, very interesting. Any other comments about this? Because I know we do have some store owners that did put it in, which is great. But I just wanted to bring it up because something that somebody said to me, and they were just wondering what it is. So what I can tell from this meeting is it's the landlord's responsibility to make them compliant by 2025, I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the penalty is going to be if they don't make themselves compliant. I will tell you that as a public entity, the city of Thorold themselves, there is a real significant push to make everything AODA compliant. I'm not sure how much that is being adopted by private businesses. So they say that it's 2025, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's going to work out.
Okay. So yeah, the landlord's responsibility, and then they get contact with the city, mutual agreement, and then obviously if there was funding, who knows if that's available or not anymore, but.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Dunsmore. I appreciate the input there.
No problem.
Anybody else have any other comments? Mr. Dunsmore, go ahead.
I just have one comment. We were talking about funding for the bike and all that good stuff. The committee budgets are going to council this Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday the 2nd, right, Sydney? And that will, and we use the numbers that you guys supplied us in terms of the breakdown for the funding, and it's in that report as well.
Okay, so I think we asked for like what, 2,000?
Yeah, 2,000, and you had it broken down, whatever, for the bikes, and
yeah,
then
1,250 for bike education, and okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's great news. Thank you. Okay, so roundtable discussion is done. Okay, so the next meeting is scheduled for May 31st, 2023 at 6 p.m. Eastern. And do I need to adopt no, we're done? Okay, cool. All right, so thanks. Thank you everybody for taking the time today. 6:41 p.m. Eastern, and that is the end of the meeting. So we'll see you guys May 31st.
Or tomorrow.
Or tomorrow, definitely tomorrow. See you guys there.
I'm in Toronto, so I will not be attending tomorrow's, but good luck, guys. I'm sure you guys got Broadwick Street covered.
Enjoy your trip to Toronto.
Thanks again, guys. Have a good one.